Hello and welcome. Thank you so very much for joining me today. In this video, I would like to talk a bit about another types of addictions, and then I would like to talk a bit about health, and I would like to give you some tips if you are interested. We were talking mostly, or I was talking mostly about smoking in the last video, and I touched on eating habits, and I kind of ignored alcoholism and drug abuse. I would like just to point out that these are really serious matters. While we can control probably smoking on our own and probably overeating also, not everyone can do this, as I said, so you might need to ask for help. More so, if we talk about alcoholism and drug abuse, these are really serious issues, and I think mostly it comes from different things. So eating, when somebody, let's say, is anorexic, it could be because someone told you that oh, you are so fat, you look disgusting, or maybe you or the person wants to control their body. They want to control something, and the only thing they think can control is their body by not eating. Or they don't want to grow up, so while they kind of keeping their figure, like they are like really not eating, they know that they can at least control that, so they don't have to kind of grow up, because they kind of resemble that image what they had, I don't know, years back, something like this, I would say. That is my experience anyway. Going to drinking is a funny bit, because it can be also it can come as a family inheritance, can be a habit of the family, your habit. It can be because you had too much good time, and then you used to drinking all the time, or on the weekends, or after a meal, and then before you know, you realize that you are drinking constantly. The sad bit is when you, I'm not saying sad in that sense, the really serious bit is when you have to drink to be able to do your everyday tasks. So you are a functioning alcoholic, or the person is a functioning alcoholic, and it's really easy to slip into that too. I give you an example, and that's gonna be my example again. When we went to art school with my friend, we were kind of, as you call, like something like, how do they call it, like adult learner or something like this. So we weren't like exactly like 16. And the thing was that we were over 18. Yeah, well over, I would say. I think how I was 26 and she was 22 or something. I'm not sure now. Anyhow, and the school also had like a place where the people who were into hospitality, they went into hospital, they could practice, so they would serve food and drinks, and right-di-di-di-do, they would serve alcoholic drinks. So because we were like very free-spirited, we would totally have alcoholic drink like before 12 o'clock. We would go and we would have a drink. Why not? We could do it, so we did it. And so that is one thing. Maybe doing it once is like a funny bit, but if you kind of making a habit out of it, or you kind of taking a piece out of others, because you know that nobody could do it, but we were like, we just didn't care, like you know, we just didn't care really, and that was it. And so you know, you can slip into these habits, or to go out every day, and if you go out dancing, maybe it comes with drinking all the time, and maybe your friends are always drinking, so you don't know how to break that cycle without having to fall out with them. So these are really difficult topics and difficult things to kind of think about and to work yourself through them. So I would say that it is necessary to change definitely environment when we're talking about drugs abuse, and the friend circle needs to be changed when we definitely talk about even maybe with the smoking. I would say if you I when I was about to when I was, as I said, quitting, I would not go and sit around people who were smoking because it was really disturbing for me. It made me really upset at first because I couldn't. I was okay when I had my electric cigarettes though, but that's a different story now. I don't want to go back to that. So yeah, so it is important, I think, to change the scenery, and maybe I'm not saying to change friends, but just really sieve them through to see. So because not everybody has your best interest. It's not that they don't want you to succeed with this. It's just that they so used to their old ways that they might don't want you to change. But it's not always the case. You just have to see it yourself. So and then now I would like to talk a bit about helping and helping others, because I think what I come about now to say is that it is important to kind of really ask for help, professional help, even if you need to, and make sure that that professional um, is doing or actually helping you in a way you want to be helped. So it's not gonna fill you up with drugs if you are not into that, but it looks and tries to help you in a more holistic way. So you will need to find perfect fit for yourself. And the other thing I wanted to talk in regard of help is how we give help. So I realized quite often when I used to, or when I'm giving money to people, let's say homeless people, sometimes I give, sometimes I don't. I'm not saying I'm always giving. Um, Really, it really depends on a person I meet. I don't know why it's that, but it really is. But many people would say that, oh, I don't give money for homeless because first they make a living out of it, and second they would spend this money on I don't know, alcohol and drugs. And I used to agree with this, like, yeah, okay, yeah, you can't be sure, and you know how disgraceful it is, and so on, so on. And then a few years ago, I don't know, it just changed in me, and I was like, who am I to kind of um, order this person if I give this amount or whatever thing freely? How do I come to order this person in any way or shape or form what he or she can spend this money on? Who am I to do that? And anyway, how do I come to that? Just because I gave them, I don't know, £5 or £10 or whatever? Why? No. Am I ready to take this person in, to truly help this person? Because let's be honest, this amount is not going to help him or her out um, for a long time. And let's be honest, we never, or hopefully, um, we never spend the night on a street, and hopefully we won't have to, apart from when we are going for camping or something. But I don't think we would last a few weeks longer without alcohol or drugs when everything is so uncertain. So I kind of got it, and I kind of learned not to judge it, not to judge them. And I was like, yeah, if I give this money, I don't care what you're spending on, because that's what you need. If I cannot take your hand and take you to the rehab or give you a room, then I really have no right to kind of tell you, like, yeah, oh, I'm gonna buy you a food, but all you want is alcohol or drug. I know it might sound a bit silly, but this is my opinion. It doesn't have to be your opinion. The other thing I wanted to talk about really is going back to the food, and how did I manage to control my food intake. So I made a drawing. This is gonna be the first one. So if this would be my plate, like that. So that would be my plate. And then this would be my potatoes, my rice, and my pasta. And maybe this would be my meat. And what else? Obviously, there is usually meat and the carbs. And this sad bit usually is just for show, and that would be the fruit and veg, or mostly veg. So that was the wrong way. So how I'm eating now is more like this. Oops, I don't know which way. Let's say this. So this bit here, this tiny bit, would be my pasta, would be my rice, or would be my potatoes. If I'm eating meat, because sometimes I do, and that is, as I said, an ignorance from my part, but I am working on it. I do. So that would be my meaty bit or my fake meat, or I would make like stuff out from veg and I would fry it. And definitely the important thing is that that would be my veg. Definitely this is my veg. So I am filling up on the veg because it gives me nutrition and it fills me up better than if I were to eat half a plate of potatoes and then two hours later I would be hungry again. So I find this is working for me really well. First, my body is more alive and I have more energy, and I'm not snacking, so I'm eating 3 times a day, if not not always. So usually I'm not snacking, but if I were to snack something, I try to eat a banana or two, or an apple, or some nuts. And yeah, I definitely try to reduce the meat eating because it's just so much easier, really. It's so much easier not to eat meat. It's just, yeah. But I'm gonna remind myself about this meat now. I wanna tell you something. And but my downfall was usually cheese in the old days, and so I cut out cheese completely. And not completely, okay, sometimes, let's say every 4 months I eat cheese, okay, fine, once, and that's it, then I forget about it again. But I don't really enjoy it anymore. It tastes like nothing. I find it quite disgusting, actually, so yeah, I don't like it. It's just quite hard to eat it. Well, the pizza bit, yeah, that's the hard part, really. So, but going back to the dessert, so I find it's easier if I make my own dessert, so I know what I'm eating. So, like today, I made like from um, porridge. Basically, I cook porridge. Um, I made like some coconut balls. So one was with cocoa powder, and the other was with is with matcha tea powder. So, and I put like a coconut sugar in it, so I could decide how much sugar I'm gonna put in. So it depends on my taste, not like someone else's taste. And then I roll them in coconut, so they look like this now. So I think you can even see it, yeah. So those are the green ones, and those are like the brown ones. So now I have like a plate full, and I'm happy. And that's it. I know what is in it, and I made it. Oh yeah, and I boiled it with rice milk. I do love rice milk. Oh, it's nice. And so yeah, so this is how I try to control my sugar and sweet intake. And going back to the meat, um, I don't. It's funny really because we had a conversation with my friend and we said that this meat eating is really weird because let's say if we were to born in Alaska or somewhere up north where there is no food, literally no food, there are only animals to eat or fat, what would we do? We would eat this, you know, and I think they are just us and they can be just as spiritual as we can be, or holistic or clean. It's just that we are luckier, I would say, or we are lucky because we can choose. We can choose not to, and we can choose to do something. They don't really have a choice up there because that's their survival. So um, I think we kind of overcomplicate everything really because I don't like this idea that just because you are eating this or doing that, you must be a bad, you might be a bad person or you are a bad person, because if you say something and you don't hold yourself up to it, then yeah. And I'm not saying you are a bad person. I'm just saying you are not really trustworthy or something. But what I want to point out is that we can choose to eat or not to eat meat, but they are not, and maybe they are just as spiritual or just as holistic. And I like these words less and less now. I I like the word now to just to be connected. So they might be just us, if not more connected than we because they live in a land, they experience it, they know how to kill an animal, what does it take to kill an animal, so they don't do this in a hastily. They really think about it, they have to prepare themselves mentally and physically. And what do we have to do? We just go to the shop and we buy it off the shelf. And when we see a movie about animal cruelty, we are like, oh, it's so horrible. Yeah, and then we would just eat the chicken. Shame on me too. So I think in some countries or some areas of the world they are more into practice, and I think we who got it kind of lucky, I would say we are more theory than practice, and this is what I'm always saying, or maybe not with so many words, but what I am trying to point out, that whatever we do, the connections, even if it's like light language and it looks really silly or stupid, the whole idea behind it is how to integrate it and put it down in a physical so we can work with it in this physical, and then we can make our lives better by doing this. It's not just the sake of doing it, it has to have a purpose, a meaning, and the meaning is to make our lives better and not better by um, uh, like by spending more money or being more, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, but I'm pretty sure you know what I mean. So it's not being so too material about it. It's more about the quality of our lives, and it not necessarily and not always comes from the money. Money is a really good thing though, because we could make our life absolutely so easy and so beautiful, and so many people's life could be so much more beautiful. So they could really work with their purpose to connect and then do what they want to do. I think these days everybody should learn how to heal or be a healer at least, and then when kind of everything and everyone is healed and the earth is healed, then we can go and do our own trades. So, and then maybe some people who are really amazing healers, they could just carry on doing the healing because they enjoy it. But maybe some people would make beautiful sculptures or paintings or poems, and they were like, it would be all just art would be again all about praising and just making you feel alive and in connection, and not to kind of put your despair into paper and show that to the world. I used to think actually when I was in an art school that how boring it is. Like, oh my God, they're painting a flower again. Like, yeah, this is not interesting. I was really interested in abstract by then or back then also, and more like sci-fi, supernatural. I thought that this whale, it is really interesting, although I really appreciated nature, but see how I didn't see why is it interesting. Just the fact that okay, you painted another rose. What is it so amazing about it? Yeah, you have a great technique, but what's that? It's a rose. Yeah, I appreciate the rose, but that was its meaning, that yeah, in so many ways just the same, to be appreciated. But yeah, I always wanted to put down onto paper or into the physical the untouchable. That's what's really interests me in my art. And where do I want to go with this? And anyway, so yeah, and many, and then I find that many people, what makes them an interesting artist in others' eye is that they put down their hate, their despair, um, their bad habits. Um, they put this into art, and then people think this is amazing and this is interesting, and actually it actually is nothing else than self-sabotage put out, open for everyone to see. And yeah, I did not resonate with that either, although I must accept, I must admit that for an artist, that type of artist, and it's not an artist, it's that type of human, I would say, it's easier to move into that energy of frustration and something. People say that the artist, when everything is fine, they can't create, and I used to agree, but now I think, no, you can create from light. You definitely can create from light, so you just have to vibrate in a different way. So this is not artistic, this is not your artistic qualities, it's just a personal quality what you choose. But then you have to go through this whole water of resentment and everything, and shame and the bad habits, and then you come out in the other side, hopefully. So yeah, and sometimes this is it, sometimes going through with it, it's just easier, really. And also, if you decide that you want to go through and you're just going to stick with it. I didn't decide because of art. Actually, I was really disillusioned with art because I think it was like so fake. Oh my God, it's so fake. And how much I loved it. Like, yeah, I loved the thought process behind it and everything with some people. But when the actual thing, when I see things and I started to realize how does it work, I was like, well, this might be one of the biggest fakes in life. The other would be the stock market, definitely. And I cannot say about crypto yet because I have an interest in crypto. I mean, I am interested in crypto, but that's also a bit like it can go either way, depending again how we're gonna use it. Just because we can't touch something, it doesn't mean it's not there. And that's the same with money, I would say. But we'll see if it's gonna turn out good or bad. It depends how we use it. Hmm. That would have been, I think, my video for today. In the next video, I'm gonna show you, going back to the physical, to the body, what do I do? What exercises do I do? Whom do I follow? Um, I'm gonna talk or show you some other breathing techniques. Not me, I'm just gonna give you some names. And then on the second video, we're gonna play. So we're gonna see if you have any special abilities. So I would ask you kindly, before you watch that video, to kind of do a bit of a cleanse on yourself. So if you can, for a day or two, and then try to do it after. But that video is gonna be on, it's gonna be like a fun video kind of. So we're gonna play, but it's gonna have a serious undertone. So I'm quite excited to see how it's gonna work out. So that would have been my video for today. Thank you very much for watching me, for listening to me, and have a lovely day. Thank you. Goodbye.